Hello dear viewers. In this episode, I will present to you the most horrific murder. The quiet suburb murder. It was a typical Wednesday evening in the quiet suburb of Maplewood. Residents were winding down after a long day, unaware that their serene neighborhood was about to become the scene of a chilling crime. John Stevens, a 45-year-old accountant, was known for his punctuality and routine. Every evening at precisely 6 p.m., he would return home from work, greet his neighbors, and settle into his comfortable home on Elm Street. But that evening, John didn't come home. His wife, Sarah, began to worry as the minutes ticked by. She called his cell phone repeatedly, but there was no answer. By 7 p.m., anxiety turned to panic. She called the police, reporting John missing. Detective Mark Harris was assigned to the case. He arrived at the Stevens residence and began his investigation. Sarah explained the situation, her voice trembling with fear. John had never been late without calling. Harris assured her they would find him and started by tracing John's usual route from his office to his home. The next morning, John's car was found abandoned on a desolate stretch of road just outside of Maplewood. The windows were smashed, and there were signs of a struggle. Bloodstains were found on the driver's seat, and the police immediately suspected foul play. Forensics teams combed through the car, collecting evidence. They found a single fingerprint on the rearview mirror that didn't match John's. It was their first clue. Detective Harris canvassed the area, speaking to anyone who might have seen or heard anything unusual. A nearby resident mentioned seeing a suspicious van parked along the road the previous evening. The van had since disappeared, but the witness remembered part of the license plate number. Using this partial plate, the police traced the van to a man named Tom Jenkins, a local mechanic with a history of petty crimes. Jenkins was brought in for questioning. He denied any involvement, claiming he had lent the van to a friend, Mike Rogers, who had recently been in financial trouble. Rogers became the new primary suspect. Detectives delved into his background and found he had mounting debts and a troubled marriage. Witnesses reported seeing him near John's office in the days leading up to the disappearance. A breakthrough came when John's credit card was used at a convenience store in a neighboring town. Surveillance footage showed Rogers making the purchase. The police now had enough evidence to issue an arrest warrant. Rogers was apprehended at his rundown apartment. During the interrogation, he confessed to the murder. Desperate for money, he had planned to rob John, but when John resisted, Rogers panicked and fatally stabbed him. He then drove the body to a remote area and buried it in a shallow grave. Rogers led the police to the grave, where they found John's body. The evidence was overwhelming, and Rogers was charged with murder. He was later convicted and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The quiet suburb of Maplewood was forever changed. The residents, once trusting and open, now locked their doors a little earlier and kept a watchful eye on strangers. John Stevens was remembered as a kind and gentle man, a tragic victim of a senseless crime. Detective Harris, though satisfied with solving the case, knew that the scars it left on the community would never fully heal. I hope you enjoyed the story. And do not forget to subscribe to your channel to receive our news. Thank you.